Captain's log. We are back, man. I just wanted to take this time out to just really just recognize just all the people who are actually like going hard on this journey. And as one of the people who life is constantly, I wouldn't say life is testing me. I say life is showing me exactly what have I accepted into my reality, and by me having the power as the somebody who can create it is somebody who can change it. And I'm just in this place of just realizing that life is meant to be achieved by those who have the ability to win. If you have the ability to win, if you have the ability to seek better things will seek you. So as in saying that, don't get caught up in the distractions between what people will lie to you and tell you. Because if you'll listen to what people are telling you, like one of the things that people are like saying about me, or the Matrix is trying to tell me, is that I have like kids by women that I've never slept with physically. But I guess spiritual babies are a thing. So I mean, I guess that's like a total right-brained kind of loop, but you have to be able to like think about both perspectives of that spectrum. As I'm saying this, I'm somebody who constantly just learns by attrition, learn by things that I go through. I learn by just being able to be accepting of any and all situations that are placed in front of me. And one of the things that I'm really learning is just how this matrix is really just like one big ocean, or one big consciousness. And it's just like I used to think of things like animals being separate from man, or certain things being separate from man. Now I just understand that like I'm everything that I can see, everything that I can see that's man-made, that's not man-made. Because even if it's man-made, even if it's made by whomever, it's still, as they're making it, they're putting consciousness in it. So it's not a living thing, but it does have energy, has energy stored within it. So as having that energy stored within it, you have to understand that's still a conversation you're having with the in by a object that is not moving, but it still has consciousness in it. So as in saying that, it's everything and anything at the same time. Because one of the things I was really learning is like you never escape your matrix. Your matrix is made for you. It's not a prison. It's just a place that you take everywhere with you. So the more that you're able to work with this ever changing situation, you can expand yourself into new realities, into new. I'm getting distracted right now, as you can see. It's just with the sun and Mercury being immutable signs, it is like crazy right now. Like the level of change that is out here is just like, it's so expansive that you need more of nature and reality, because we're going through like a cosmic storm right now. And as we're enduring this cosmic storm, it's best to stay grounded, because with so much being changed and so much being adapted and things just constantly changing, and a lot of people are setting stages for you to constantly put yourself in. But as soon as you learn that you're the driver in this car, you're not the person in the back seat, you can get your hands back on the wheel and change the things that people are setting up for you to fail upon, to fail by. So be accepting of the situation, allow the situation to change, because a lot of the people who have created this matrix or this box, or a lot of people who are quote unquote working behind the scenes, they're being exposed. And how they're being exposed is by constantly not allowing you to live out your full spectrum of the matrix, because they feel like they've turned you into a child where they have to hand feed or spoon feed you the way, where you have a soul, you know the way. It's so much of the reality that's been artificially created for us that is putting us in stations or in places that doesn't cause us to grow. And I mean, even with me being in nature, sometimes I'm looking at the background of these things, and it feels like I can just rip down like the background of the matrix and just be like, damn, am I walking in just like some kind of like illusion, or is this like truly like the Truman Show? And it's just like, it's weird, man. It's just something like, the more that you look out into reality, you don't look into yourself, and you don't like co-create with the soul, and you create too much with the body. You create too much with the soul and not with the body, because the beings, the archons that are still holding these gates, they're still creating certain cell blocks and certain cell ways for you to think. Certain they're manufacturing brain waves and creating certain stances and things that old culture is trying to get you like to not break down. And certain people have done oaths to like uphold this old soul way of living and thinking. And like you got to be an Aquarius to be somebody who's above like Scorpio to like actually know the secrets and say, I know the rules, but I know the rules enough to break the rules for growth that's going to take the creation of reality to the next stanchion or next like ideal area. So with me, it's like somebody who's trying to like, it's somebody who's so like right brain that they can't think logically enough anymore to like do the homework and just to really work. And those are people that constantly like always on the phones and like they need people to help them. Not everybody needs to be on the phone constantly, but you don't like people feel like they need like certain things to actually like station them in reality. It's like nah, you have your anchors, you have the things that do govern you to the place that you're in to lock you, not lock you, but to place you into a place where reality makes sense. But it's so much that even if you speak on half the things you see, you'll make them tangible into your reality. You'll make yourself more of a spot that you're going to be able to not be able. The thing is, you're not going to be able to see yourself out of it, and where you have to be able to co-create with just being still with reality, knowing that there's nothing that can't change. The only thing constant in life is change. So the more that people are like, I had this dream life and it's supposed to be this way, those are the people that's going to like truly suffer. I feel like fixed signs are suffering the most because we've had this way of just thinking that it's so stationed that if you're not around enough mutable energy, you'll never be able to accept and adapt to the things that are being placed in front of you. So some people are just like constantly like so much into reality, like this is reality, it's not going to change, it can't be altered, to the point where we're seeing mixed signs, fixed signs, we're like, no, we're constantly changing this all the time, and it's you that's hampering us from truly becoming our greatest selves, because you feel like you have enough training for people that you should never have done deals with or done contracts with, that now you're seeing that you box yourself into situations that you were never supposed to like get into. So as in saying that, let's get back to this captain talk. Um, these are my ideal thoughts instead of just like me being in like channel and things like that. Just like I had to address that because there's a spirit or entity that's around me that's trying to constantly like. It's to the point where this spirit is like. It's almost like it's a government entity, and at the same time of it being a government entity, it's something like it's not the CERN machine, but there's some kind of automaton that is pushing this thing, and it's like it's trying to keep me entranced into like a reality in which I'm so much to the point where it's just like I'm in a place of just being able to understand and then adapt faster than a lot of other people expected me to, and because I'm adapting with such a rapid speed that people can't really. I don't think people expected me to really have this adaptation with reality. They expected me to like go by the rules that they set, and it's like for me, I don't. As an Aquarius, and that's someone with a lot of water in their chart, air and water, so I'm logical enough to make tangible of my emotions and the spirit that is constantly communicating with me enough to be able to say no, I don't need that, and at the same time with no, I don't need that, being able to constantly adapt to the things that are around me, and at the same time like the things I don't need, I can just push it away because it's not mine, and if it's not mine, I don't have to make tangible other people's thoughts. So the more you're able to say I'm not going to make tangible of other people's thoughts, the more you can just say like, hey man, you need to get off my back and sit down. And that's just like I said, always be appreciative that you're in my classroom to learn, instead of like you seeing like you feel like you have authority over me and you want to be a teacher. Like no, Learn how to take the back seat and learn how to listen to me. So that point where I'm speaking to you, you can sit the fuck down and listen, instead of like thinking that you know everything and you can constantly be me. So it's like you have to like, first off, I was in the house all yesterday, so like this is me like stepping out of my proverbial headspace and like coming back and like reworking with reality and just like constantly just not accepting things that don't serve me anymore, and just as in saying that, just getting to places where I'm open to the growth that's been placed around me, because a lot of people are like, they say that they're like looking out for you, but the you that they're looking out for is the you that they made pacified and like made comfortable to situations that they never grew out of. So as in saying that, anytime you're met with resistance, what I'm learning, like usually I would kind of always like puff up my chest and go into these situations just like really like head first, and then I'll be the person that like physically for the moment I'll win the battle, but I'll lose the spiritual war, because the person that I thought that I was fighting was actually just another projection of myself that I projected into my reality to give me foresight of the things that I didn't think I had enough understanding to accept at the moment, because I had so much to learn as somebody who's just constantly learning. So it's like, how can I make sense of things that don't serve the collective consciousness? Because the collective consciousness, we're in this comfortable space of like, how can we learn from things that don't serve us, and how can we grow from situations in which we are learning how to adapt to a reality in which is always being like thrust upon us. And it's just like every couple seconds we're seeing it more and more. It's just like people are projecting, and on top of them projecting, it's the proverbial box that never goes away. So saying like, because you live in this free headspace, we still have to like dominate you in the 3D world that you aren't really able to think outside the box in. So you're like almost like squatted into a spot where you have the scissors, or not scissors, because scissors is like one of the traumas that they put upon me. So just being able to work with reality enough that you can create change, and allowing that change to affect the people positively that's around you. So like it's one of those things where the more you don't know that you have complete control of your situation, the more that you'll start squirming and you'll start like creating resistance. Just like in the movie Harry Potter, the first one where the Chamber of Secrets, when Hermione was the only one that didn't panic when they were like placed in that black goop. So she was the first person to understand that she was able to get out easy. And Ron, which is also, god damn, because it gives you such perspective of the same journey, the same story that's getting told to us over and over. Asar, Aset, and Heru. And Harry would have had to be, I guess, Asar, or maybe he was Heru, and his guardians was Hermione and Ron. So it's just constant perspective, man. Just like the more you're able to look into like reality is for what it is, man, the more you'll be able to not get caught up in like the box that they're like, or not they, but the box you put yourself in, because there's nobody outside itself. There's just certain constructs that we create to like to meet up with us, or to put borders on our life and stop us the way that we stop ourselves. Because if we really knew who we were, we would know that there's nothing stopping us other than ourselves. So you know, it's all about self versus self. And the more that you are able to put other people into your expanded space, the more people will try to stop the growth that is destined for you. And you can't stop the growth of somebody for they're trying to do their own thing. So no matter how much you like your pain or your suffering that you want to project onto them, you can't do that. It's your job to live into the world that you allow other people to create for you. And because I don't allow other people to put that world upon me, you can't be mad at me. I choose not to suffer in the way that you suffer. Because I don't live in my emotions. My emotions will never govern me. Yes, I can see into people's like emotions and how hurt they are, but I don't need to let other people's emotions like constantly project upon my experience that I'm having, that I'm co-creating with my reality. Meaning, as in saying that, I don't need to feel bad for other people that do it upon themselves and have hurt themselves. It's self versus self. It's not self versus like other people. This is your journey to live upon yourself. And as saying that is your journey, it's your job to heal your own wounds. So it's just like, just because you suffered a certain way doesn't mean that you need to put your suffering on me. That's not fair to me as a man. Like, like that's not fair to me as a soul to like carry other people's bondage. Like, your bondage is placed upon you, and it's up to you to like to get out of that, because nobody can save you other than yourself. So it's more, the more that you like put other outside sources into healing you, the more you take your power away from yourself and the power that you have to heal yourself. Because honestly, the conversation that you're having in your thoughts and your mind and with yourself is with yourselves and your ancestors, because your ancestors are stored information that are placed within yourselves. So that's why you have the ability to heal yourself by mind, body, and spirit. Meaning that the secret societies that you think are controlling you are actually giving you power back for yourself to grow. So it's like, the more that you fear them, the more you're giving power over to them. And it's like, yeah, they're doing this, they're doing that. All right, so what are you doing to counter and get out of that? That's the conversation that you need to have, instead of saying like, oh man, this is hard, this is this. No, bro, this is you versus you versus you versus you again. There's no version of you that's outside that's not winning. That's the thing that it fucks me up, because like, while channeling, stay grounded into the body, but it's just like, it fucks me up, because it's just like a lot of people are just like expecting like some kind of savior and things outside themselves to save them. And it's like, it's not saying that like we don't have a savior outside of ourselves, but the savior that we create ourselves is the same thing that we project upon the world to save us with. So the more and more that you can like clean your channel and clean your own mind, and you can become the version of yourself that you want to be, the easier it is for people to interpret your interactions you have with yourself and with your reality. So the more and more that you can constantly co-create with the world that's co-creating with you, the more and more you'll be able to be free to like truly live in the abundance that's around you, or the not the abundance, the excellent energy that you create within yourself. You'll be able to co-create with better situations. So as in saying this before, it's too much more interference that I'm dealing with. Be great, be you, and don't compromise your own self for other people, because other people will just always try to like, they'll try to come in because they have no place for themselves to be at peace. Because once you create peace and you create a home within yourself, you can go anywhere in the world and still feel like you're still at home. So that's the whole point of life, is just to co-create a reality that's meant for you to win. So do that shit. Be happy about the person you're striving to become, and the person that you are in the moment, because past, present, and future is always speaking back to you, and that's the relationship that you're always having with yourself. So grow, be proud of who you are, be yourself, and keep on your path. Stay blessed.